Welcome to the American Dream. It is always great when we get to have Eran Sinai. He is CEO and founder of ID Cyber Center. It's great to have you in here, and I'm looking forward to this topic today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Always great to have you. First, I want to touch, I know you have a radio show,
Yes.
I think ESPN.
That's right.
Why don't you just tell me a little bit first about your passion for that and what your topics kind of have been lately?
So whenever people hear ESPN, obviously they think it's a sports show. No, it's not. Yes, I did play soccer. I did play professional soccer, but it has nothing to do with sport. It's a talk show. It's called Common Sense with Eran Sinai, and we bring different guests. We want to take topics that in the realm of the world and make them simple, make them bring common sense into him. So we could have city official from the district attorney to realtors to nonprofits. So we try to really take what's happening here in the world and really make sense to people so they can understand what it is about. And it's fun. The show is live streamed, so people can watch us live in the studio. It's podcasted simultaneously. You can listen to it on the radio. And I love doing it. It's a lot of fun.
And I think it's something that people really want to hear more. Everybody's tired of the mainstream stuff, or like we talk about here with, just more negative media. It's so great when you get to hear things that are empowering or inspiring or make you think differently. And hopefully people come out a better person after hearing your show.
Absolutely. And, it's Monday live at 5 p.m. So people are listening in the radio, believe it or not. Sometimes they don't want to just listen to music. And I try to make it fun. It's not heavy. It's light. I love trivia. I love music. So I always involve things like that. And people, in the beginning, they sit like this. They're a little nervous. And towards the end of the show, they're like, oh, that's an hour already? And it's gone in a second. And you know how it is. So I enjoy it.
Isn't that fun when you watch people relax into it?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
to where they're not nervous anymore and they realize, okay, I'm just here. And people want to hear natural conversations.
Yeah.
They want to hear people that are, engaging and inspiring. So I think that's so awesome that you're doing that. And
it is.
I'm glad we got to touch on that.
Yes, thank you.
Obviously, one of the really important roles that you play is being founder and CEO of ID Cyber Center. Right now, cyber, people are heightened about it. There's a culture right now, everybody's worried. They're worried about cyber attack. First, tell me, what you see as a culture that the world is looking at as far as cyber.
Unfortunately, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. As a matter of fact, there was just a convention. It's called Black Hat Convention in Vegas. That's where all the good hackers get together and discuss what's next. And the biggest topics, believe it or not, was voting. Do we want to use pen and paper or do we want to use digital? So it affects every area of our lives. And I think we cannot, and a lot of people, you'll be amazed from research we have done, bury their heads in the sand and thinking if they won't look into it, it won't happen to them. But when we talk about breaches and data leaks, and we're looking at Equifax, one of the 3 credit bureaus, when over 148 million people's information is out there. So there's no question in my mind that each one of us, you, me, every one of us, information is out there. The question is if they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and not if, but when, and what they're going to do with it. So I would really recommend that people don't bury their head in the sand. Check on a regular credit your credit card statement. Check your credit once in a while to see. Check your even medical bills. Once a year, get a statement from your insurance company and go through it, kind of x-ray of your insurance bill, because there's a lot of medical identity theft.
Wow, that is great advice. And I bet a lot of people don't think about that.
No one does it. No one does it. And I said, look, it is tough. There's pluses and minuses with being so advanced, but we're not going backwards, we're going forward. And the thieves, yes, they're getting a little more sophisticated, but it's not as much as them being sophisticated as much as the tools are so much more readily available. So I just encourage people to really be conscious and proactive. You can't prevent it, but you can be proactively doing things to protect yourself.
So you really see that the worry kind of is real. Is there anything that people are worried about that maybe shouldn't be and they're focusing on the wrong thing from your perspective?
Yes, I think people are focused on the credit card and they think, well, it's okay, if they'll steal my credit card, the bank will reimburse me. But it's not only that, it's much deeper than that. It is using your identity to even do crimes. It is doing things that could hurt you financially that you're going to have a problem proving that it's not you. And I always say, even quickly, people don't know the difference between using a credit card and a debit card as far as liability. And it is so common. A small, quick example, Demi Moore, everyone knows who she is. A few weeks ago, and you guys can check it out, someone called American Express, and he knew enough information about her to say that her card was stolen and change her address so her new card will be sent to his address. He got her new American Express, and it was in the paper, spent $169,000. Now, because it's her, they didn't question the spending. Then he tried to sell the merchandise. Lucky her, and it never happened. He got caught, right? But what I'm trying to say, don't ignore things. People know about you enough that they can create those synthetic fake profiles just like that. So be proactive, look at your credit card statement, and, worry but keep living.
Sure.
And that's really what I
think
have
being
to say.
proactive and making it the new habit.
Absolutely.
We've had to learn a new habit of living with cybersecurity and with worrying about our identities. It has to become a new part of our almost daily life of being proactive, like you're saying. And I think we could probably do an entire half-hour show just on this.
That's right.
I really appreciate that you brought up these key topics.
You're
I hope
welcome.
that our viewers really heed the warning, and we'll be right back with more of The American Dream.
I left the palace to hustle a great life of the American dream. These are the words of His Highness Dr. Prince Mario Max Schaumburg-Lippe of Germany. Prince, good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us on the American Dream.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be with you, and it's absolutely true. It started pretty early. I was born in this little village, we have to say, the city Salzburg, the Sound of Music city, and fortunately enough, we had a stage in this city. And as a young boy, I was performing in the opera Boris Godunov. And that was when I started to dream about Hollywood, about America. And it just became my biggest dream. And then when I was 16 years old, I started to do a radio show and started to do television. So I'm with the media all my life, but of course, first it started in Europe. Very humble with little shows and little columns I wrote. And the interesting thing is when people asked me, what do you do? I always said, I'm on TV, I'm a TV personality, I'm a radio journalist. So I never said I'm a prince, because I said that's something that is not the most interesting thing. My job, being in the media, being in entertainment, was always what I lived for. Yeah, and then a few years ago, I really made it to Hollywood, and after a successful and big career in entertainment in Europe, I said, now I'm going to jump in the cold water, come to Hollywood and see what happens. And I'm now a judge at the Television Academy for the Emmy Awards, and I'm working 7 days a week on interesting projects. I started my own PR company, so I help people to get in the media, or if they have a crisis, get out of the media. And I'm just having a blast being in this wonderful country, and America is being very friendly to me. I think it's such an open and such a cool place. So I feel very welcome, and I thank this country for what opportunity it gave to me. I really have to mention that.
Well, it's pretty fascinating that you found your inspiration in this Hollywood scene, that you actually made the leap from being a prince to now being here in Southern California. What year did you do that?
I started with little steps. So first, I just went to New York, and there I met at the function of Prince Albert of Monaco, Liza Minnelli, and we just had a blast dancing. And she said to me, "Oh, this kid can dance." So legendary Liza Minnelli from the musical Cabaret. Most of you guys will know her from winning the Oscar, the Emmy, the Grammy, and the Tony. This legendary entertainer invited me to dance class to Luigi, who was the former dance captain of MGM Studios. And there I was dancing and rehearsing with Liza Minnelli, with Ben Vereen, Pippin, with Christine Baranski from the ABBA movie, all these legends. And every day we went to this Broadway dance class at 11. And she took me under her wings, and we had a blast. And I started to work on musical shows. So I was starring in a show called Pretty Faces. I was starring in Dracula's Story. I was starring in the show 12 Days of Christmas. So I did a lot of stage work first. And then I wanted to merge back into television, what I did in Europe. So I moved on to my next education, and I went to the Lee Strasberg Institute, and there I studied with David Strasberg, who is the son of Lee Strasberg. And right on, I booked TV stuff. I had a show on VH1, I did work on Bravo, and then I did a movie for Lifetime television. So everything worked out really cool, and I just feel whenever you want to achieve something and work hard and learn your craft, it really works, and I never had a problem with it. And now, as the acting is a thing that comes and goes, because you always have to rely on people booking you, hiring you for a project, I start my own project. So that's a thing I like a lot, doing own projects. We just won Culver City Film Festival with a production about a school in Hollywood where kids graduate high school age 11. And I teamed up with this school because I think it's such an advantage for American kids to be able to graduate with the high school degree age 11. Then they can go right away into learning a profession or studying. And we're so proud because the next season of the Dancing with the Stars is a junior edition. And our boy Lev graduated high school age 12. And he is now on the Dancing with the Stars as a professional. He is in the music video with Justin Timberlake, and our boy is also on the national commercial of a clothing brand. That's one of our alumni of the Ivy League College Preparatory Academy. And then another kid we have is at law school now. Maxana finished at 11, and she's now studying law, which is very impressive. So I like to help others because I know through hard work and hustling you can achieve a lot. And that's what I want to pass on to the audience and to everyone. Just go for it.
Well, you're an award-winning actor and a TV host as well, so you're very much in the space. You like the art of it all, but it sounds like you also have that entrepreneurial spirit where you're starting businesses and you're doing things for others. Explain what you're doing in that world.
Yeah. So meaning being an entrepreneur is for me one of the greatest things, and it really came up in me when I came to this country because there are no greater entrepreneurs than the American ones. The speed of a project that can be commenced, then the power of economy in this country is unparalleled. So I love what opportunity you can have here, and it's just a question of seizing your moment. And so many people asked me, Prince, how did you become so well known in Hollywood so fast? You won all these awards, you're in the press, so how do you do that? Well, I've been in the public all my life, and I've been in journalism all my life. So this is what I know best. And then I said, well, you know what? Why don't I start a PR company and help others to promote their person, their product, their company? And I did it, and from day one, I'm representing a new TV show by former Oprah Winfrey producer. I'm representing stars that are in and out of the media. Sometimes we need to get them back out of the media when they have a scandal and they say, oh, Prince, please, can you help us? We have some crisis happening. And I'm like, okay, let's overlay it with a good story. Let's pull you out of the media. I help those. And then a friend of mine who just happened to play along, Eric Roberts, the Oscar nominee and brother of Julia Roberts, and who was now in the Jurassic Park franchise, a new Jurassic World movie. So my buddy said to me, well, I'm doing all these great projects, but I don't get enough press. Boom, here we go. Now I represent him, and he's getting an article every day of the year. That's what I love. And another big project of myself is Prince Caviar. So I import and distribute organic caviar, and it's the world's best caviar, and caviar is very healthy. I grew up with it, but when I came to the US, I saw it's unaffordable, like so expensive. These little tins cost so much. I mean, you can not only work for buying this healthy caviar. So I said I need to change it. So I came in with caviar imported, and this caviar has a wholesale price. So Prince Caviar is affordable for everyone, and it has all the natural fish oils and vitamins. So it's a good product, and now for the first time in America with a great price.
Well, you've had an amazing journey. A lot of people say that the American dream is dead. You as a prince have made the journey on your own, taken all of the risks. And as I ask you about your entrepreneurial spirit, it sounds like you're in about 10 different things, but you're passionate about all of them. You have a successful career as an actor, TV host, and now you're helping others to do it. We appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story of the American dream. Thank you so much, Prince. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And I have to say one thing. I'm also sharing what I can achieve because I love the American veterans, what they did and what they do for this country. And I mean, they keep America so nice and they kept it always safe. And I'm always donating for them. I love them. And I did some festival, a caviar festival for benefiting the veterans with the proceeds. And I think we should always look for and after others when we are successful in what we do.
Thank you so much for honoring our military. We really do appreciate that. All right, thank you so much. Cheers to your American dream. Gotta let you go. More of the show coming up next.
Welcome to the American Dream. It is always fun when we get to talk to Jim Loveridge. He's a top producing agent with Wykert Realtors. Always great to have you on the show, Jim.
Thank you, Amy. It's good to be here.
So, people are always talking about fix and flips or maybe just remodeling their home. What is your opinion if people are looking at remodeling or, doing additions and things like that? How do they look at their rate of return on that? Can you give me your opinion?
I sure can. I took the time this morning to kind of look up some statistics, and 97% of all statistics are made up on the spot. So with that being said, I'm going to give you some statistics on how this goes. The highest return on investment, believe it or not, is garage door. Garage door gives you almost 98% return on your investment. The next line down is if you add a front entry door, a new entry door, that's another in the 90% for return on your investment. A deck on the back of your home, another 90% return on your investment. Ironically, a change of the veneer on your house, so let's go from a siding to a stone veneer, is another 95% return on your investment. All of these are on the outside of the home, so you're kind of seeing a pattern here of where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. I push my people very hard to update their homes on the outside also, not just inside. They're standing out there. That curb appeal plays a huge factor in getting you top market price. Ironically, a minimum kitchen update is an 87% return on your investment. Now, all of these statistics are taken off of people hiring retail people to do it. If you are handy and you can do it yourself and not make it look like crap, then you're going to be able to get a higher return on your investment. So, some people took a Home Depot class and they should never touch a saw. Then there's other people that actually have some skills. So you need to weigh that out with how your work is. But I would say anything you do to your home to improve it, especially in a market when it starts to slow down, is worth every penny of time. Not to mention you made it nice for yourself. It's something you're going to realize you should have done when you were living in it, but you didn't take the time. You're fixing it up for somebody else. Most buyers have spent all their money buying your home, so they want everything done as humanly possible. They don't want a new project. So I push hard for people to go ahead and remodel before they're putting it on the market.
That is such great advice. And I think everybody's running out and getting new doors right now. That is awesome. You're right. Pointing out just that facelift of the front of the house. People focus on the inside, but the outside is so important. And what a difference that could make. And that was really awesome advice. I hope that everybody's really paying attention to that and taking that to heart. In your opinion right now as well, how are interest rates affecting the market? What's going on there?
I think it's caused our market to slow down a bit. We finally have a good inventory. We're up to almost 7,000 homes, which is about 30% higher than we've been seeing. But our days on market have gone from like 4 to almost 40 days on market. So that increase in interest rates certainly has played a part in that. Now, with an offset to that, as that price goes, or as those interest rates go up, some of these sellers are having to adjust their prices down. Now we're meeting in the middle with that same payment that they had. So I think it plays a big factor in it. And I'm hoping that we don't see any more interest increases in the next few months because it is affecting the buyer's market.
Well, I know that you happen to have a motivated seller right now and who probably has a property that they did the great facelift. They took your advice. They're ready to sell. It's ready to find the right buyer. You've got 12239 Village Circle, Thornton. Why don't you share that with us right now?
I do. We actually did go into that house. We recarpeted, repainted it. redid the hardwood, and just freshened the home up for the market so that we'd be compatible. It was in some rough shape before we did it, but it looks beautiful now and it's ready for a family to take over. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, around 2,300 square feet with an unfinished basement of 1,000 square feet with a nice yard. It's a beautiful home. We're just waiting for the right buyer to come along. I'm sure it'll sell pretty quick.
I hope it does. I'm sure that the right family is going to find that right away. Jim, you're such a great expert for us on the show. You're such a delight. Thank you so much for coming in and giving great insight today.
Oh, no problem. It's good seeing you. Thank you, Amy. Have a good day.
Great to see you as well. You're watching The American Dream, and we'll be right back with more. Welcome to The American Dream. I've got a wonderful guest ready to introduce to you right now. I have Lindsay Lichty. She is a realtor with HomeSmart, and it's great to have her a part of the show today. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hi, it's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's wonderful for us to get a chance to talk to you. I want to ask you first, what made you get into real estate?
Well, about 4 years ago, I started shadowing my mother-in-law, who's been doing this for over 20 years, and I just fell in love with the process and everything that comes with it. I love helping people and finding them their dream home and making their dreams come true.
That is so awesome. Okay, you have an absolutely beautiful smile. So besides your gorgeous personality that's already shining through, what makes you different and sets you apart?
I would definitely say the fact that my husband has a construction business, so I get to see a whole different side of housing than a lot of realtors might, which gives me a lot of insight when I walk through a home with buyers or sellers even, just to be able to show them and point things out to them that they may not regularly know about, and things that don't meet code and things like that. So I think that really helps me offer something different to my clients.
Well, and it's what sets you apart, and definitely makes you such a perfect role in helping your clients in a full spectrum. They can probably feel very comfortable with you and know that they're in the right hands. So when you're finding a buyer the right home, what process do you use to know that you're really helping them strategically find that perfect place?
I would say just really connecting with them and sitting down and figuring out exactly what their wants and needs are, and making sure that I have the best understanding possible of what that is before we go out and actually look at things, and making sure that they're set up with a wonderful lender, so that in this competitive market they have a great chance at getting exactly what they need and having all of the things on their list get checked off.
I can tell you really love working with your clients. Is there one in particular? Do you love working with maybe the first-time home buyer or the move-up buyers? What do you love the most?
I would say I do. I love working with first-time home buyers just because I can relate. A few years back when my husband and I first bought our home, it definitely was a little overwhelming. So I love working with first-time home buyers and getting to make their dreams come true and just see the look on their faces when I get to hand them the keys to their dream house.
It is pretty great, isn't it? You can see them just light up, and if you can handhold them through that whole process and make it a lot less scary and work with the right professionals, it really, really does work out great. I know that you happen to have a great listing right now that could be wonderful for a first-time buyer if they're watching this. Why don't you share about that property with us?
So that property is centrally located right in the heart of the Meadows in Castle Rock. It's got tons of upgrades, plantation shutters, great hardwood floors throughout the first floor, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms with a large loft and a main floor office. So it's perfect for anybody who might need to work from home. It's close to the outlets and shopping and great schools in Douglas County, trails and anything outside that you can think of, zip lines right there in Castle Rock too. It's just a great location and a beautiful only 2-year-old home that needs a great new owner.
Oh, that just sounds wonderful. I hope that our viewers reach out to you right away to find out more. And I'm so glad that they got to know a little bit more about you today and what a great resource you are there for the Denver community. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure and engage with us on social media. You can connect with us directly. We can answer your questions here at theamericandreamnetwork.tv. And we'll be right back with more. Welcome back to The American Dream. We've got your Mortgage Minute right now with Michael Dye. He's a senior loan originator with Synergy One Lending. Always great to see you, Michael.
Oh, thanks for having me, Amy.
So, Michael, tell our viewers, why is it so important that they are with a mortgage professional, a true professional?
I love that question. Thanks. In today's society, in lending world, we put so much stress on what your interest rate is. And, even though that's really, really important, if you're in the incorrect loan program, you could have a higher monthly payment than someone that has a higher interest rate than you. Why is this? It's because every borrower is unique. You're unique. Your needs and loan goals are unique unto yourself. And there is so many different factors that go into determining what is a correct loan program for you. And and how I determine that is I ask my borrowers a bunch of different questions. And a few questions that I ask them are, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish with this home purchase or refinance? How long do you plan on being in this home? How much, or even better yet, how little of a down payment are you looking to do? Are you looking to consolidate debt? Are you looking to get in the market today and build up equity so you can afford your dream home in the future? These are just a few questions that I ask my clients to make sure that I tailor the loan program to their needs, their goals, and their dreams to make sure they're getting the most out of the loan program they possibly can.
It is so important. You hit it head on. Thank you so much, Michael.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, that's all for the American Dream. Thank you so much for checking us out. Remember, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage your American Dream. Don't forget, we love you to breathe oxygen into this message. Follow us on social media, and don't forget, we'll catch you next time. See you next week.